friends. This is the ChompCast with
Trey, the Jarvitar.
Trey, the Jarvitar. Today we're going to be doing a Q&A for the channel. Yesterday on my Instagram, I put out a little Ask Me Anything blurb, and we got a lot of questions in from followers and fans and friends and fellow vendors and collectors, and so we are going to answer many of those questions, have a little chat, and also, hopefully you enjoy our nice backdrop. Today's podcast will be sponsored by Dragonite.
I think we're just trying to have just a very cozy fall, to celebrate fall.
That's right. Welcome to fall. If you are an autumn person, welcome. We are going to have a cozy Q&A here, and before we get deep into the questions, we want to talk about what's happening later today, which is a huge giveaway for 3 booster boxes of Mega Evolutions English, the newly released set tomorrow. Well, actually, it's today is the release day, and we're going to be giving away 3 whole booster boxes on our drip stream tonight.
Yeah, be sure to tune into that. We'll be doing pack by pack for giveaways?
Probably like 3-pack giveaways, but just like tons and tons of winners. And we've also got a lot of packs to rip and singles and slabs that we'll have for auction and for sale. So if you guys haven't seen one of our streams before, you should tune in. Today's a really great day too. Friday, we're going to be giving away all those packs for the new set and hopefully pull some cool mega cards, guys.
I mean, 3 whole booster boxes, what are the odds that we get something really cool?
Let's get at least 1 or 2 SIRs is my guess.
That'd be tight.
And maybe one of those gold cards would be crazy. So without any further ado, my friends, we'll put the details in the description of this video and here on the screen here for you to check out that drip stream and get the link and everything. But let's get right into the questions, and let's start off with a kind of a simple one that has to do with what we're seeing at the shows these days, which is, what is a card you are always buying at the booth these days? And I think this kind of comes from that place of, previous podcasts, whether the ChompCast or others, I've called out certain cards that are just like instant buys for us.
And you called the stained glass birds so well.
What's so funny about that is I didn't intend for, I didn't think, hey, this card is gonna just shoot up in value in the short term and have this huge repricing that ended up happening. Got up to like $500 in a PSA 10 for a little while there, and then it's trickled back down to like the $350 range. But I was just simply saying, like, this is a card that whenever we see it, we always buy it because people are always asking for it. They want to buy it from us.
Yeah.
So are there any cards that you've been noticing that we are just always buying? Just kind of it's like someone shows it to you and you're like, yes, we'll take that one.
There's this trio of SV illustration rares in like the $50 to $65 range that it's just a no question. If I see it, we take it. Stellar Crown, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle, and Temporal Forces Ghastly.
Oh, yeah, the Ghastly Temporal Forces. The Temporal Forces Ghastly is now, I think, in a PSA 10 is the most expensive card from that set.
Not surprised. I mean, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and it's probably easier, not as hard. Sorry, it's harder to grade than some of the SIRs from that set, like the Raging Bolt and whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the art's better than any SIR in that set.
Yeah, and has Gengar in it and Gengar tags.
Has Gengar and Haunter and Ghastly.
Shout out Gengar. This podcast sponsored by Gengar.
Yeah, Gengar and Dragonite, but also Chansey, Snorlax, Pikachu, and Eevee.
Yeah, sponsored by Squishy Mallows. All right, so I like those picks. I'm gonna just kind of reiterate something that I'm always buying is the Lugia V from Silver Tempest. Even though I think it's $400 or $500 now ungraded, I'm still really, really bullish on buying that card and having it available at the table because people are always wanting a copy of it, graded, ungraded, whatever.
Well, that's how it was with so many of these Sword Shield alt arts. Like we were calling Mew and Celebi from Fusion Strike for months and months, and now they're kind of shooting up a bit, but like those are still just automatic buys.
Yeah.
So many of those Sword Shield alt arts, Chilling Reign alt arts, like they're all gorgeous.
Yeah, Moltres V from Chilling Reign.
Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno.
Yeah.
And the Slow King, the Rapidash, we would take all of them.
Yeah. And we do.
We do.
And then Suicune V from Crown Zenith.
Oh my gosh. I have so much riding on Suicune V. Jake and I had a joke for like a while back. I remember like it really materializing at Portland Front Row, that the Suicune V is just the most reliable card in Sword Shield, the one from Crown Zenith.
Yeah.
We get so many in and so many go out for a, very, very stable price point.
Yeah.
And, it's a gorgeous card.
It is. It's really a great card, and it's in that perfect price point. I think it's been somewhere between $20 and $50 for as long as we've been vending, and that's just like the perfect price point for pretty much any collector to be potentially interested in it. Most people have, $20 to $40 to spend at a card show, and even the people that are high end that are wanting to spend a lot of money at a card show, they still love that card.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, that begs the question, like, what do you think about that card long term? We see it so frequently come in and out with that much desirability. Do you think that eventually, when Crown Zenith is harder to find, it'll go up like crazy?
yeah, I would say some of these cards that have like really, really high liquidity, when the box that they come out of goes up in price on the secondary market, you typically see like a new floor price for those singles. Now, singles and graded cards, they are more volatile than the box, of course, as far as the price point. But like, let's take the Umbreon VMAX, for example. Like, Umbreon VMAX from Evolving Skies, it was at a certain price point, and then as Evolving Skies, the box has moved up. The floor for Umbreon VMAX has also gone up. And that's probably what you're going to see more often than not for these cards that have lots and lots of copies in circulation. Even though they're a high population card, once it becomes harder to pull them and introduce new supply into the market, then they're going to be up there. But honestly, like, because those Suicune, Entei, and Raikou V, they're not the main chases from Crown Zenith.
Yeah.
I would be hard pressed to think that they're ever going to, at least in the next 5 years, like get over $100 ungraded, just because those gold cards are always going to be the main chases.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of what I think about those.
What's an ETB of Crown Zenith go for?
Regular ETB, I want to say like 150 to 180 right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if that goes crazy, given that's a specialty set with no booster box.
They did drop quite a few like big reprints of that, like years after release.
So many Sea and Skies boxes.
So many Sea and Sky boxes, but also like specific ETB reprints. But I mean, it's going to be similar to Hidden Fates, honestly, because the print quantity is probably pretty similar.
But it's just getting ripped.
It's getting ripped. People love to rip it, and the artworks, they just speak for themselves.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get into number 2. Do I recommend a strategy to start buying and selling singles as an already existing store? If you're an already existing store and you're not selling singles, you definitely need to. Definitely need to get into it. If we're talking brick and mortar or even just an online store or whatever it may be, singles are a huge portion of the collector base.
Oh, yeah.
Collects singles for their binders, for their master sets, or just because they love certain cards, but they're maybe not deeply entrenched into the grading scene. And if you think deeply about the grading in general, it is kind of, I guess, it's interesting at least that PSA, who's the main grading company for Pokemon cards, is they're a sports card company. That's how they started. And because of that, I think there's just always going to be some people who don't get into grading, and you want to have items at your table or at your store or on, whatever, in person or online. You want to have items that are going to address a large market of people. Yeah. And so singles and graded cards.
As far as a strategy, though, I think that just sticking to your margins and being very, very consistent has really helped us in the long run for accumulating.
Yeah.
And sure, our margin's not so crazy, but since it's consistent, we're always seeing an upside.
If you don't have any singles right now, and you're trying to get into it, I would say start with Modern.
Oh, yeah.
Start with Modern because there's a little bit less to know.
Yeah, much more consistent sales data for comping values, and you're so much less likely to run into the back and forth about condition.
Yeah. The vast majority of modern cards are in near mint condition.
Because they went right out of the pack directly into a penny sleeve and a top loader.
Yeah. So start there, but then also realize that if you're kind of a beginner in selling singles and all you have is modern, you're going to be competing with a lot more people who might have the same cards as you at their table or at their store or whatever. And so over time, you're going to want to get more acclimated to getting vintage cards, getting mid-era cards, pricing them accordingly, and just expanding your own knowledge so that people see you and hold you out as kind of an expert when it comes to cards of any generation.
Well, and you've said like over and over again that so much of your success in Pokemon cards is directly correlated to your knowledge.
Yeah.
Be that about your knowledge regarding the card's history or an individual card's history, like its sales data and that type of thing.
Agreed.
So just get wise.
Get wise, get learned. Number 3, how do you comp a card that has very limited sales data? I actually got this question from multiple people and kind of worded in different ways. So one person asked, a card hasn't sold in 2 years. How do we comp it? Or maybe has never sold, whatever it may be. This is a complicated question, and there is no one-size-fits-all. And I would say the guidelines that you're going to use they're going to be more clear to you, what I'm saying, once you've tried to sell a card that has had very limited sales data. But some of the things that you can look at are, is there sales data for other cards of that similar rarity or for characters of that similar rarity and of similar kind of excitement about that character, right? Like, it's probably not realistic to think that a really low population core fish card is going to sell as high as a low population Mew card.
Yeah.
Right?
Let me give you an example. Team Rocket's Hitmonchan, EX Team Rocket returns. And it's mod play.
Yeah, moderate play. Yeah.
So and there's no sales data for it. What would you do to try and comp? Like what other cards would you be looking at?
I would look at if there are other condition sales, like has it sold in damaged or has it sold in heavy play or a light play or near mint, and look at those sales. I would hopefully be able to look at the card in person and see, okay, it's moderate play according to maybe the ungraded subjective judgment that I'm giving it, but like what would it realistically grade at a grading company? Is it like a 3 or a 4 or a 5 or whatever it may be?
And what did those 3, 4s sell for?
Yeah, what did those graded copies sell for? And again, I'm not going to price it at that graded price.
Yeah, because of a graded premium.
The graded cards have a premium. They have a very specific market value if there are sales of that specific grade, at least more specific than an ungraded copy. And there's a cost to grade, right? You have to pay at least $15 or more to get a card graded. And so you have to take that into consideration, but at least having a data point to go off of. Now, if there's really no data points, then you can really price it however you want. But then also remember that pricing an item, a product, a service, has to be within the realm of an actual buyer coming to get it from you, coming to spend their actual money on what you have. And does that mean that sometimes you might sell something for a little bit less than it could possibly be worth? Because maybe the buyer who buys that card from you, maybe they're a really sophisticated seller for really low population cards like that, or cards with very limited sales data, and they have created a sales channel where people know them for sourcing those kinds of cards, and so they can get premiums on them that you probably couldn't.
The amount of like whatnot streamers that have just come to our table and cleaned us out of a bunch of random singles that we would have never thought to sell, and then they come back and tell us that they printed on us.
Yeah, that happens, and it's because they have curated a market base on their channel that is willing to buy those cards at a premium. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay because they spent the time and the work to build that follower count, and you haven't. And that's work that they're going to, the marketplace is going to provide value to them in the form of money. But again, you don't want to undersell yourself, right? Like if you're someone who's trying to do this seriously or maybe even full time, you need to get pretty comfortable with selling almost any type of card, any condition, any rarity, and have a significant sales channel for almost everything. Now, not everything's going to be worth your time. Maybe it would probably be hard to, as an individual person, or maybe just we're just two people, it'd probably be hard to have a sophisticated, high-end purchaser base, but then also a sophisticated like bulk buying business where you're selling like 2-cent cards. That might be too much work for two people to do. But yeah, you want to get familiar with all different market levels, and that way you can take in more cards and you can sell more cards. But again, back to the question, how do we price this thing?
Yeah.
The graded data point helps you. Other cards from that same set that are maybe, like for example, I have a Pop 1 Jarchomp card, PSA 10 from Supreme Victors. How do I price that card? Well, maybe I have to look at other holographic cards from that same set. Is there any sales data for other cards that are from that same set that are, PSA 10, but then also account for the fact that mine is a population 1. So let's say I find another one that's like Pop 25 and it's sold for $500 or whatever. Mine's probably worth more because there's only one of them compared to 25 of them, and you have to account for that. But there isn't like a perfect value calculator. Some things in the Pokemon hobby have very clear values because they sell extremely frequently. Some things are much more bespoke.
Well, that's the best thing about the negotiation process with
Yes.
the buyer, is that, if you guys can come to terms on a value, then that's the value.
Yeah.
Because value is just whatever the buyer's willing to pay.
Yeah. And that's the truth not only in Pokemon cards, like even in like publicly traded companies. Yeah, maybe we have an idea of what a share of Apple or Amazon or Tesla is worth because it's buying and selling all day long, all the time. But there are privately held companies that they have value, but it requires like an investment bank or a specific company to come in and spend weeks or months of auditing in order to find out a true fair market value of that private company.
That's what we're going to do with all these Team Rocket Hitmonchan.
Exactly. Well, what I'm getting at is it's complicated. And
Nuance. No.
Exactly. Sorry, Internet. It's not as easy as you think. So hopefully that's helpful to those of you who have low pop cards. All right, next. Which Pokemon... Oh, this is a good one for you.
Uh-oh.
Which Pokemon deserves a better design than it has ever gotten in a card?
Than it's ever gotten. I mean... Okay, here we go. Ready? I want... And this is... keeping in mind that we just got a Flygon illustration rare announced with Inferno X. But I want more Flygon cards.
More Flygons.
I want more Gallade cards. I want more... Before Destined Rivals, I would have said more Crobat cards. Let me really... Oh, here it is. Ready? Toxicroak.
Toxicroak. Okay, Gen 4.
Yep, Gen 4. Flashfire Full Art. Really great.
Cool card.
There's a Scarlet Violet base Full Art. But I want, like, a really sweet...
Like a swampy SIR.
Or maybe some kind of like Team Galactic trainer card in a modern set. Toxicroak is sick.
Yeah, very cool.
He's up there for me.
What about like a tag team card with so Toxicroak and Toxtricity?
Whoa.
That'd be crazy.
Whoa. Just some frogs.
Yeah. Just some dangerous frogs. I mean, there's not enough Empoleon cards.
Definitely.
Now, I did see that there's going to be a full art Empoleon, I think, in Phantasmal, or I thought I saw a leak of that.
Really?
Anyways, we need more Empoleon. We got the alt art from Battle Styles.
Yo, wait, actually, thinking about it, we have the Altart Empoleon. There's an illustration rare Infernape that came out in a Scarlet Violet set.
Wow, yeah.
But no Torterra.
That's true. We do have a full art Torterra in the SV block and an illustration rare Grotle.
But no Torterra.
No, like, SIR Torterra. Yeah. Gen 4 needs more love.
Yeah, more Gen 4 love.
Yeah.
Across the board.
I was about to say Milotic because I love Milotic, but there's that one in Surging, and it's so good.
Gorgeous, but I mean, you and I talk about this all the time. It's kind of unfair to say because Gyarados has gotten so many great cards, but we haven't had an insane Gyarados card since Breakpoint.
Yeah, that's true. And that's kind of later on. We're going to talk about like what Pokemon deserve to be a main chase, and we'll get into. I'm sure we'll talk about Gyarados, of course. Okay, next question. Favorite Pokemon Stadium mini game? Okay, this is going to have to be a you exclusive because I haven't played as much Stadium.
Eager Eevee is so good. The one where you're like getting all the little foods. But the one that I absolutely love, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it's the one where the log is falling down and you're the scyther or the pincer and you have to like cut it on the line. It's so good, and I'm really good at it.
He loves things he's good at.
I'm really good at that Pokemon Stadium minigame for no reason.
Well, shout out to Jarvitar for Pokemon minigames because in our family, if you wanted to get a Pokemon from Gen 3 up to like Gen 6, you needed to use Trey because he was broken at the black and white minigame.
With the crossbow. Yeah, in order to transfer your Pokemon from Gen 4 to Gen 5, you needed the DS download play function between two DSs, a Gen 4 game and a Gen 5 game. And they still made you do this little mini game where you shot crossbows with Pokeballs at your different Mons in the grass. And I don't know why. I'm really good at it.
He's broken at it.
I don't, and to the point that like our oldest brother Dylan, who is, you know, a little, he's a prideful guy sometimes.
Sure, he's got self-confidence.
All love. Asking me for help with anything is out of the question. But
admitting that he needs help to Trey, pretty rare.
But when he came to me one time, he's like, "I'm so tired of this stupid minigame. Please do it for me." I was like, I got you.
Let me crossbow your Mons for you. All right. Here's a good question. How to source inventory as a beginner vendor. We talk about this a lot. We answer this question frequently on live streams and such. How to source inventory as a beginner vendor has a lot to do with your reputation. Do people know that you're trying to buy cards and trying to sell cards and be involved in this business? And if not, how do you build your reputation? Is it social media? Is it, working out deals with people at card shows and you becoming part of their network? Is it working with your local game store to, figure out some sort of arrangement there if they need any help getting things or selling things or whatever it may be? Long story short, you have to get involved.
Yeah.
You have to work, and you have to have some capital, right? Like if you want to buy a collection from someone, and people are always selling collections. I'm sure people have friends who are buying or selling Pokemon cards, and they might be open to giving you first crack at making them an offer. But you have to have some money.
Well, and it's a really hard thing to speed run.
Yes.
And you did not speed run it.
No.
You built up a very, very big and diverse personal collection
over the course of years.
Years and years. Realized that you were a little disenchanted with certain individual cards and slabs and decided to sell some. And because you were in a vending space, you were in the right environment and context to source cards pretty easily. I mean, like the sooner you get in the door of a card show, the easier it's going to be for you to source cards. But that requires some amount of inventory already in order to sell.
Yeah.
So, but you don't need to bring $20,000 worth of cards to your first show. Bring a few cards that you like, a couple slabs that you like, but make sure that you communicate that you're open to buying, and the cards will come.
Yeah. And have a social media account.
No question.
So much of the credibility of your buyer seller profile, you can create on, with an Instagram account. And I've had a Pokemon Instagram for, I think, like 3 or 4 years, maybe 4 years.
Yeah, long before your YouTube ever blew up.
Oh, yeah, long, long before. I was posting just like personal collection cards and pulls that I had from packs and whatever years before I ever thought to make a YouTube video. So overnight is tough. Some people are just like, they're hustlers and they make it happen in a short period of time, especially when the market's as hot as it is now. But just expect it to be work.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Next, if you were to start collecting and vending all over again, what would you do differently?
I mean, this is an impossible question to ask me because I wouldn't change a single thing. But at the same time, I've gotten an insane advantage just by virtue of being attached to an established vendor.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is probably a better question for you.
What would I do differently? There are some obvious things that, like, over the course of your collecting journey, you just end up changing. Like, oh, I'm not going to rip as many packs or whatever it may be because you don't really, like, make money ripping packs. But then again,
It's the fun of it.
It is super fun to open packs and to, look at the new sets and the chase cards that are going to be in there. And yeah, that's part of the magic of the entire hobby, honestly. Even people who are not Pokemon card collectors like to open packs
Oh, yeah.
because there's that mystery, right?
It's a dopamine hit.
It is a dopamine hit. So there's that piece which is like, oh, I wouldn't open packs, but that's just not true. And then there's also the piece of like, be very, and I've talked about this before, be very judicious about the cards you choose to collect and have an intentional collection goal. And that's important. I believe that. But at the same time, just know and be okay with the fact that your collection goals are going to change.
Oh, yeah.
As you get exposure to new cards or new environments, maybe somebody shows you a card you'd never seen before and you're like, whoa, I do need that one. You need to be okay with your taste developing. I had that goal of getting all those Delta Species cards, and I like Delta Species cards. I still own some really, really cool ones. But based on how the market was moving and things like that, and the price point that I was into some of those cards for, I felt like it made more sense to sell the ones that I didn't really, really love. And that's okay. So yes, there's things that I would do differently, but they're things that I've already changed. And that's just kind of what happens when you mature in any sort of hobby or pursuit or business. Like, you pivot based on things you learn or things that happen or the environment that you're in.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily have any big regrets except for maybe one. I wish I would have kept that Mewtwo Gold Star.
Oh, yeah. You graded it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's a pivotal story,
Yeah.
in my vending career. And so it would have been cool to have that kind of as not just a memento, but like a monument.
It's a Tensert.
It's a Tensert with a swirl. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sad for you right now.
Yeah.
I'm feeling emotions.
So would have been cool to still have that.
Yeah. But,
What are you going to do?
what are you going to do?
Can't live in the past. All right, y'all. Next question. Where do you get your display cases for shows?
Wow, this is a great question. Would you like to answer it, Jake?
What a great question. We use Zion cases. They are not the sponsor of this video, but we do have an affiliate link with them, and you can find it in the description of this video. We use them because they are really durable, and they stack, and they're easy to transport.
Yeah, we're able to get, our entire display out in the car,
Yeah.
So,
The other cool thing about them is like they're kind of like the chosen display case vendor for many of the shows that we're at, which means that when we travel like to a Collecticon or to Card Party or whatever, Zion cases are the ones that you rent when you go to those shows, because you don't fly with your display cases usually.
So we have a consistent look every time we go.
Right. So we know what our table's going to look like even at a show that we fly to. So that's helpful. So shout out Zion.
Jarchomp 10.
Jarchomp 10 for 10% off. All right. Here's a good question that's a little bit less to do with Pokemon. Did you and your brothers get along when you were younger? Ooh, I'm going to let you start with that because you're the youngest brother.
I am the youngest and a lot younger. Jake's 6 years older than me and Dylan's 9 years older than me. And because of that age gap, like there were a lot of differences. Like when Jake was in high school, I was in middle school, and so there wasn't a whole lot of overlap. I was a lot closer with Dylan at that age because you were off in college.
Yep.
And Dylan and I watched a lot of Dragon Ball Z together, and then he...
Shout out Kakarot.
Yeah, Kakarot! Shout out Eric from Pack Battle.
Yes, shout out Eric.
And you know, we would watch movies and play Elder Scrolls games. But one very, very like strong uniting thing between all of us has been Age of Empires 2 and Halo 3.
Yeah.
And Star Wars Battlefront 2.
And Pokemon.
And Pokemon.
But yeah.
We played so many games when we were younger, and because we still play those games to these days, like we're all, you know, me, you, our older brother, our younger sister, we're all really close.
Yeah.
As far as siblings, I think.
I would say for 4 siblings with such a large age gap and such varying and salient personalities.
Yeah, we are like really different people.
We're all very different, but we all have mutual respect, and we always prioritize each other. And that doesn't mean that we don't have sibling, small sibling beef.
Oh, there's so much beef, but there's
now and again.
There's one story that I think is very important that I tell pretty often on stream about the names that I would be given playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. This will tell you everything you need to know. In Star Wars Battlefront 2, your progression wasn't tied to your Xbox profile or your console profile. It was tied to an in-game named profile. Mm-hmm. And Dylan was always the Jarmander, Charmander. Mm-hmm. And Jake at the time kind of like rotated between Jakeinator or whatever names. It was years later that he became Jarchomp.
Yeah.
But I was never allowed to have a name. I was never allowed to have a profile. Which meant that I never got any cool guns through progression.
Right. You always had vanilla guns and
a new profile. Every single time we played, there would be a new profile. Sometimes it would be named Rat, Trash Can, more explicit things that I shouldn't say on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And every time that Jarmander or Jakeinator killed me, it would say Jarmander killed Rat. Jakeinator killed Trash Can.
And just like we'd be playing on certain maps, and because Trey was young at this time, which means that you were very predictable.
Oh yeah,
and so we would post up.
We'd be on Camino.
We'd post up in certain places on certain maps, and just we knew that you would be walking in a certain direction, and we would just snipe your head right off in the game, and it'd be so consistent that you would die dozens and dozens of times per game. And
I got brought to tears.
Yes, eventually it would result in tears. And we'd be like, what? You wanted to play with us? Come on. This is what it's like to play video games.
I was an actual child. An actual child, dude.
Yes. That's serious brother behavior.
But yeah, we get along great.
Yes. And for those of you who don't know, in the family, we got 3 of us boys, and then the youngest is a girl, River. And so, yeah, we still chat frequently and have a good relationship, and we see the world in a lot of ways, in different ways, but also in a lot of ways in the same way. Mm-hmm. And so, it's kind of in a world where like we had blended families on both sides and everything when we were younger. The fact that we've all kind of remained close and have a lot of respect for each other is really cool.
It's great.
All right, and I'm not going to apologize for any of the Battlefront 2 stuff.
It makes a great story and garners me a lot of sympathy.
Yeah. When the internet uses to feel bad for you, because
please pity me.
Yeah, pity you. Next, back to Pokemon. will card prices go back to their pre-2024 boom levels?
I mean, that's such a broad question because there's so many different cards from different eras that are all moving in different directions.
Exactly.
I don't think that all cards are going to go down, and I don't think all cards are going to go up.
Yeah.
But do you think there's a very specific type of card or era of cards that's being asked in this question, like maybe SV or Sword Shield Arts?
Not to belittle the question asker here, but I feel like this kind of question is probably coming from someone who's a little newer to the hobby. And maybe even if it's not, though, right? We're talking about, hey, will card prices do what they were doing 2 years ago? What we need to remember is that this hobby's going to keep going for many, many years. And all of these cards are just part of, every individual card is just part of a much larger marketplace. And is there a world in which the whole general marketplace, like the average card value, is lower than it is today, right? Like if we're kind of comparing the entire Pokemon market to like the S&P 500 index, right? Where, like if you buy a share of an index fund, it could go up or down, and that movement is dependent on hundreds of different companies changing in price every day. Could we liken that to a Pokemon card market where like the average card price across every single card is lower in the future than it is today? Of course. But that isn't, I would say that's not a sophisticated way to look at the hobby. What's much more worth your time is trying to find areas of the hobby where there isn't as much attention, and if you like it, collect it. If you're trying to make some sort of a money play, then maybe you stockpile it, for a flip or for an investment or whatever it may be. And so in general, in regards to like what's my sentiment on the market, I believe that we have undergone a significant repricing moment, which means that the floor for the market generally is higher than it used to be.
We've arrived at a new plateau.
There's more people, there's better sets. The Pokemon Company is erring on the side of less product to demand ratio than it has in the past. They're evidently doing that.
And they are, printing to exactly what the consumer wants. Yep. The Inferno X leaks are
crazy.
Insane.
Yeah, it's a Charizard set with like 4 awesome Charizards.
There's a Charizard card with a Charmander, a Charmeleon, a Charizard, and a Mega Charizard X on the same card. We're screwed.
Yeah. So the answer is, I'm going to say most likely not. You're not going to see everything move down to where it was pre-2024 boom. Some cards will. Some cards never will. And so instead of trying to say like, the market is X or Y,
It's actually ZA.
It's actually ZA. You should probably be looking on a more specific level. Mm-hmm. Finding cards that you like, or finding cards that you think have upward mobility from where they are today.
Yeah. I think Diamond Pearl Hollows.
Oh, this is a question for you. Okay.
What do you think?
If we're going into...
What's a little niche right now?
What's a little bit niche right now? Not much. Most things have gone up already. Mm-hmm. Most things have incredible all-time high market prices.
You don't believe in brakes?
I mean, brakes are already more expensive than they've ever been. Everything is.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of in a different situation than maybe some collectors, because I am in the business of having all sorts of cards in the inventory all the time. Mm-hmm. And so I don't play the speculation game too much. But I do see a lot of cards come in and out of the booth. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of have my ear to the ground on what could possibly be moving, maybe more than the average collector. But I don't have any silver bullets for you right now. I would say it would make more sense to me to be buying something maybe a little bit older in comparison to buying the brand new chase cards that are in extremely hyped sets. That probably makes more sense. Like me personally, I'm not buying the Destined Rivals Mewtwo for my personal collection right now.
Yeah.
I think there's a great chance that it's cheaper in the future than it is today.
Well, I mean, it's like, well, we were looking at comps yesterday. Card, it's selling for like $700.
Yeah, I think it's like there were some big buyouts. I think it's like right around $6 for the raw copy. So
it's a lot.
It's a tough question. Will card prices go back to their pre-2024 boom levels? Some will, some won't. In general, I would say the market has undergone a repricing towards the upwards direction.
Yeah.
But anything can happen. Do you plan to do Pokemon long term, or will you make a change when the market cools off?
I think the hope is that we can make this work long term.
Yeah.
Because we have a whole lot of fun doing it, and we've built a insanely kind and fun community.
Yeah, shout out to you guys for being part of the community. Obviously, the fact that you're watching the videos, seeing us at shows, sending us messages, working out deals with us, whether in person or online, it means that we can do this business. And we appreciate that. Thank you guys. And we're having tons of fun. But I also will say, in answer to this question, I was doing Pokemon at a pretty serious level before this boom.
Oh, yeah.
I quit my full-time job in October of last year, which in many ways I would say is pre-boom. A lot of people would maybe define the boom starting at the release of Surging Sparks. And I would probably agree with that. That's kind of when I saw the modern marketplace really start to take off and kind of carry everything up and bring a lot of new people to the hobby.
And Sparks is when the Scarlet and Violet era really hit its stride.
Absolutely. And that came out in November of last year. I left my job in October, which means that I started taking vending more seriously, as in like traveling all over the West Coast to these shows while I still had a full-time job in May of last year. And yes, there was an alt-art boom that kind of happened in April and May of last year, but no one could have expected that Scarlet Violet and then everything vintage and all those other things, the Sun and Moon boxes were going to go up 5, 6, 10x in price over the past 12 months. No one could have anticipated any of that. And so, not that I'm like tooting my own horn here, but I was interested in this business before there was all of this hype to do it full time. And so I'm hoping that the approach that we've had that has led to the success that we've had, regardless of the market type, is going to carry through when things cool off.
And you're a very pragmatic person. And so I have nothing but faith in that regard.
We'll see. I would say the more likely thing that would take me away from doing this full time is not necessarily the market conditions, but it's just, do interests change?
Does it spark joy?
Does my life situation allow for me to work as many hours as I am and all this kind of thing? Sorry, I have a little itchy nose. But, because one day Frannie and I want to, plant a flag somewhere, buy a house, have kids and all this kind of stuff. And do I still believe that the pace that we're working now or the things that we're doing now are going to be the right fit for that? I don't know. Maybe. I'm open to it. So... But what I can say is I'd rather do this than go work in an office.
I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
So going to try and work it out till it doesn't work anymore.
Love it. Okay, next. Are vendor POVs going to be for members only now? Absolutely not. We put out vendor POVs for members, for non-members. Now, you may have noticed a small decrease in the quantity of vendor POVs. We're working on our content strategy, and we're going to be coming out with new ideas, new types of videos, but vendor POVs are always going to be part of the channel.
Oh, yeah.
And we also have allowed my sweet Frannie to take some weeks off to go visit family and to rest and recuperate and to not be worried about the business for a little while.
She did it in a year straight of videos every single week.
Every single week, sometimes twice per week, many times staying up till 2, 3, 4 a.m. to finish things. So yeah, she's having a little recharge.
But with me joining the crew, we've got more resources on hand. We're going to try and experiment while also holding true to the stuff that's been doing well, just for the sake of seeing what works and having a good time.
Absolutely. And one thing I've learned is that one of the things I love about the content space of this hobby is just talking about the cards.
Oh, yeah.
And so doing that more and talking about the business and doing that more and speculating on, not speculating, but like talking about what's going on with the market and doing that more. So we want to have the entertaining vendor POVs, but also just chatting with people. We got the midweek Machamps, we got the ChompCast, I got other ideas for ways we can let people know what's going on with the business. And so we're going to, the content strategy is never going to be the same thing all the time forever. Mm-hmm. And that's just a fact of life.
But vendor POVs are here to stay.
Yeah. What's the next modern card to hit $3,000?
In a 10, I'm guessing.
I'm going to guess, yeah. They're saying in a 10.
Well, the Magikarp was almost there for a bit.
Magikarp's a great guess, honestly. Because the Paldea boxes are like $500 now.
Well, and even with this, like, rush to grade your Magikarps for the hope of cashing in, it's still fairly low pop for...
oh, yeah. It's still like a less than 20% gem rate, I think. Maybe way less.
Well, I mean, is it too crazy to say Phantasmal Flames Charizard this early?
Not too crazy.
I don't think that's crazy to say.
That's a good chance it has over 3K on it. I'm going to say Bubble Mew is still in the running.
Do we think Van Gogh will hit 3, bro?
Van Gogh is in the running. Yep.
Van Gogh at 3 is crazy.
I also think like some of those Japanese promos, like the Stamp Box Pikachu is in the running to get to 3K at some point.
Yeah, Stamp Pikachu. How old is that?
I think 2016.
Yeah. Okay. Is that modern?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Last 10 years?
Yeah, count it.
Okay.
Maybe another one of the tag teams, right? So we had Magikarp Wailord break 3K. Now it's retraced a bit, but long term, I think it could get back there.
Other tag teams. I mean, Tyranitar Sableye. I don't know off the top of my head what it is.
I think it peaked at like 2K.
But I know that it's the best tag team.
Oh, wrong. Arceus Dialga Palkia from Cosmic, I think, has a good chance someday.
Is it not already?
No, it's like 18, 19, something like that.
Okay.
So, hard to say, but there's a lot of good picks there. Mm-hmm. All right, next question. GoldenEye or Super Smash Bros? And I guess we're talking Nintendo 64 here.
Of course. Well, I'm tragic at GoldenEye. I'm so bad at it. You and Dylan are really good at it.
Oh, I haven't played GoldenEye in many years.
You would still absolutely destroy me. Trying to do a first-person shooter with one joystick is like... It's like trying to get me to Parallel Park. It's just not going to work.
Not going to happen, yeah. Just go to the parking lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Super Smash, and here's why. I have way more connections to the characters from Super Smash because when the N64 came out, I was a young kid. And I wasn't necessarily like old enough to really be in the 007 FPS world. Mm-hmm. Now, we like played that if we owned it. I think I still own it today, but we didn't like dive in as deep as we did and play Super Smash and have our own character. And
we played so much Smash.
Specifically on N64, we played a lot of Smash. And one thing that you guys maybe didn't know about us is we weren't allowed to have gaming consoles in the house until I was like 13, 14. Mm-hmm. And so our first gaming console was actually an Xbox 360. And then it wasn't until much later after that Dylan, our oldest brother, got a job and then started buying his own video game consoles. And I'm pretty sure one of the first ones he got was a Nintendo 64.
And he got Smash, and he got Stadium, and GoldenEye, and
Snap,
Mario Kart 64, and we played the crap out of those. Dude.
Yeah, we played a lot of those games, but specifically Super Smash, and we had a ton of fun playing the board the platforms and break the targets.
Board the platforms.
Yeah, definitely Super Smash for me. Now, I'm not like a Super Smash Bros. Purist. Like, we never had a GameCube growing up, so I've almost never played Melee, a little bit.
I own Melee, and I have played it a little bit, but it's only, I don't have like a nostalgic tie to Melee.
Right. We played quite a bit of Brawl on the Wii.
Lots of Brawl.
Specifically you and the younger siblings. And then I don't know if I've ever played Ultimate.
I have it, and I've played it. I'm terrible at it.
Yeah.
It's a little sweaty.
It is pretty sweaty.
So,
But, like, best Smash for me, easy.
it's N64.
N64. The controller is just... It's so perfect.
It's just right for it.
Perfectly bad.
Yeah.
Perfectly a bad controller.
Just an absolute tragedy that I've, learned how to perfect.
Yeah. Next question. What's your favorite band, music band?
I think the default is to say Led Zeppelin.
That's the best band.
That's the best
But what's
one.
your favorite band?
I think the one that sparks joy is Bad Sons. But only the first 3 albums.
Wow.
And especially that first album.
Yeah, those are great albums. 1, 2, and 3, really
Just
good.
peak
Yeah.
2010s alt rock.
Yeah. What's my favorite band? If I'm going off of like listen quantity, it's probably Coldplay. It's probably what I've listened to the most in my life.
Yeah.
But I grew up in an alternative rock era, so I love Coldplay. I love Train. I like Maroon 5. Really good stuff. But also, like, my genre that's like most intrinsically me is probably R&B.
Yeah, Jake loves R&B.
And so I like hip hop and R&B quite a bit. But favorite band, I've seen Coldplay in concert twice, so I probably have to say that.
It's a safe pick.
Yeah. Pretty safe, pretty basic.
But, there's nothing wrong with that.
Thank you.
You'll get flamed in the comments probably, but there's nothing wrong with it.
It is like my answer when someone was like, what's your favorite ice cream? And I told them, have you ever heard of vanilla? Like, vanilla's good. It's not my favorite, but it's good. All right. Favorite Pokemon video games? This is definitely a Jarvitar question.
Well, Fire Red's always my go-to. Platinum's up there.
Oh, Platinum's so good.
Platinum sometimes takes the first spot. Soul Silver as well is in contention, but right now I'm on such a black and white kick. Black 2 and White 2 are stupid good.
Awesome.
So good. But I really like anything in the realm of Gen 3 to Gen 5, including all the remakes that came out in that soup, is just peak, dude.
Yeah.
Anything that can be played on a Nintendo DS Lite
Ooh, so true.
is the best Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm going to say Leaf Green in my Game Boy player, on my GameCube, onto my old school TV. I'm down for that.
Yeah, Fire Red Leaf Green. Just so good.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing that Living Dex.
Yeah, and we're going to have to get a copy of Pokemon Box. If you have a complete in-box copy of Pokemon Box, please hit me up. I want to own it.
For a very fair price.
For a nice, fair price.
For a nice, fair price.
All right. Next question. What's the best way to network with others in this hobby?
Be a nice guy.
Yeah, actually, though.
Yeah. Well, you will really set yourself apart if you are just a kind person.
Here's the facts. Ready, guys? There's money to be made in this hobby. And oftentimes, the types of people they get drawn into money-making opportunities are sometimes they're unsavory, right? Like they have low integrity and are willing to hurt other people to get their own gain. But I would say that happens sometimes. What happens more often is that people get too tight with the deals that they're willing to make. And I know we've all kind of been there, and I've negotiated over a $5 difference before in cards, but I've seen like 4 and 5 figure deals fall apart over $5. I've seen that in person. And it's between people that have known each other for a long time, have vended at many of the same shows, and all this kind of stuff. And they are so unwilling to let someone else feel good or feel as good, maybe even better than they do about a deal, that they let it fall through. And like a deal falling through isn't the big deal here. It's the impact that you make on someone to where it was so much unnecessary work to get a deal done with you that they don't want to do a deal with you again.
I think that there's so much to be said about really prioritizing a fair deal for both parties rather than winning the negotiation.
Yeah.
not necessarily treating the negotiation as a contest to be won. That's where those $5 differences fall apart. It's so someone wants to feel like they won.
Yeah.
When really, it's like if the deal didn't happen. You both lost. Congrats.
Yeah. Yeah, and just that kind of like bitter taste that's left in your mouth when someone who is intellectually present enough to know that the other person in the negotiation or who's making the offer or whatever is only after their own gain, that typically results in those two people never doing deals again.
Yeah.
And there are people who have come to our table and have, wanted to buy a card or many cards or whatever. And it's like their desire to make money off of you is so pungent. It's like it's what we call in corporate sales breath. Like you can tell that they are trying to squeeze you. And maybe it's because they have information that you don't have, or they're speculating on something that you're not speculating on, or whatever. That sometimes, someone's going to make some money off of a deal that they do with you. And that happens. But like when they are so obviously after their own gain, that's how you build a reputation that, and people just don't want to work with you.
Yeah, but it's so interesting. We have met unbelievably kind and amazing people through vending.
Yes.
I talk all day about how awesome Swan's Emporium,
Shout out Derek.
Trader John's,
Shout out Derek and John.
Sav Hype,
Shout out Mike.
Faisal from Clover.
Shout out Faisal.
The list can actually go Gold Star Ash.
Shout out Ash.
Like who else?
Carson, C5.
C5.
Obviously Dylan Bulbasaur,
Love
Eric
Dylan.
Pack Battle, all these guys that we've done many, many deals with. Love all of you guys.
Can speak that they are just good people.
Yeah, but also savvy business people and people who make money. And you can do all those things and still like treat others with respect and have mutually beneficial compromising deals. But the other thing, I guess another way to put this question, right, so is the best way to network with others. It's having that reputation, but it's also putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And one of the best ways to network with people is to obviously just talk to them in person, but it also helps if they have maybe heard of you before, because that can kind of create an instant connection, right? People sometimes take multiple interactions to really see you as an acquaintance and then eventually as a friend. And if they've seen your content or they have heard of deals that you have made or you have mutual connections or whatever, then those kinds of new bonds can be formed a lot easier. So you got to put yourself out there. Start with local shows. Start with your LGS. Think about traveling to a show just as a buyer. Lots of people who are vending now, whether it's here in Utah or all over the West Coast that I've met, started as people that just bought things from my table. And whether they've turned into vendors or they turned into big online sellers or whatever, they're people that are now in my network. And when I say that I'm looking for a card, a lot of times they have a connection. Like that PSA 1 Jarchomp that I mentioned, I didn't source that myself. I got a DM from someone who said, hey, I saw this other guy is selling this card on his website. I thought you might be interested.
Yeah. And the amount of Tyrannitars in my Tyranitar Master Set binder that I got because someone that I've, talked to at a show before was like, hey, I got you.
Yeah.
I found a card you need. It's like, it really pays to talk to the people to your left and right at the booths.
Yes. Go to the trade nights. Like if you're I don't go to as many trade nights now because at the end of these shows we're just so tired and we have to go get some food because we've been talking to strangers all day long.
We actually have not eaten anything.
We actually haven't eaten all day. But like when I was starting vending, I would go to the trade nights as frequently as possible. I was trying to be involved. And that's how I met Carson. That's how I met TCG Metro. That's how I met Pokey Rich. And that's how I met tons of these people. I mean, I was doing deals with Faisal from Clover at trade nights long before we were doing deals every show at his booth, right? So you got to put yourself out there. You got to go and meet people and you have to introduce yourself. And I know that can be kind of scary if you're a little more introverted. especially like if you're someone who's newer to the scene, you can kind of sense when other people have connections and experience and wealth or whatever that you just don't have or don't have yet. And that can be intimidating. But just remember that, like, we're all in this because we like Pokemon cards.
And that's something that I have in spades.
Yeah.
I still don't have any wealth. I didn't have experience or knowledge in the hobby, but I knew that I loved Pokemon.
Yeah.
And so I just talked about what I knew, and what I knew was Pokemon.
Exactly. And your passion shines through. So be yourself.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Last 2 questions. Top 3 Pokemon that need to be featured as a main chase in a set that haven't been before. So haven't been featured.
Never been a main chase. Okay. I need a really cool main chase.
For Alligator.
Yeah. Yeah, we need a really great Feraligatr.
Shout out for Alligator.
Has Dragonite ever been a main chase?
Dragonite is...
Evo Skies...
Dragonite is
like...
probably either the second or the third highest or most expensive card in EX Dragon.
Yeah, and then Team Rocket, base set Team Rocket, Dark Dragonite is
maybe second to Zard.
Yeah,
or maybe Blastoise.
And then LC Dark Dragonite's also up there, isn't it?
Absolutely. Oh man, Legendary Collection Reverse Dark Dragonite is such a grail.
Oh, actually, I know exactly what.
Snorlax.
We need a last really cool Snorlax card. What? It's the Chilling Reign Gold Snorlax.
Yeah, we did have I would say the main chase from Sword and Shield base is Snorlax VMAX.
That doesn't even count.
Doesn't count?
That doesn't even count.
Wow.
Like, is it a main chase? Yeah, but it's like, when we say main chase, we mean like SIRs.
Yeah, we do need a hungry Snorlax, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah. Snorlax.
Snorlax for Alligator. Those are our answers.
That's 2 Pokemon, though.
Well,
3.
Oh, one more?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Give me a really cool...
Wow, I'm so stumped right now.
Tyrantrum.
Tyrantrum?
Because there's no Tyrantrum cards in general. There's like 2 or 3 cards in general.
Wow.
And you know how much cool stuff you could do with a T-Rex Pokemon?
Oh, I've got one.
Okay.
Darkrai.
Is Dark Explorer's Darkrai not the main chase?
No. Dark Explorers, I think the main chase is Groudon Kyogre.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's a big card in that set. But I think Darkrai...
It's like riding the name Dark Explorers.
I think Darkrai could carry a set if it was like a really solid card. That's my bet.
Okay.
All right. And last question. Ooh, this is a good one to speculate on. Do you think the increased numbers of vendors joining the hobby is sustainable? We had almost an entire midweek Machamp episode that has a similar topic here, right? Which is like, is the card show scene being as hot as it is that here to stay? And I'm going to answer this like I would answer kind of any emerging market. When there is evidence for a living, like a real livable amount of money to be made in a new industry, there's going to be a lot of people that flock to that. And so you're going to see kind of a big surge.
A lieutenant surge.
A lieutenant surge of people.
Hey, baby, you want to go to the card store?
So we've got lots of new vendors, and I'm going to say that just like when a Pokemon card goes up in value, you're going to see a big spike and then kind of a leveling off.
Yeah.
And some amount of those people who got into vending are going to either maybe they don't like it as much, maybe they don't see the success that they need to see. Maybe they just discover that it's more work than they thought it was going to be.
It's a lot more work than it seems to be.
Yeah, and so maybe that's the case, and so those folks maybe pivot to some other thing that they're going to do. But I don't think you're ever going to go back to what we saw in 2021 as far as like the number of people who were interested and willing to sell cards full time. It's going to be more than it ever was, but it may not be as many as it is today. Now, the market's going to continue to grow, but maybe just not. You're not going to see maybe as swift a rise all the time, right? Like when a market grows, or when a stock grows or something like that. A lot of times you see kind of, it's not necessarily like a straight line. A lot of times you see like stair steps, where it's kind of flat, and then it just kind of moves up all of a sudden, and then it's kind of
stable plateau.
Exactly. So it's more like that. If you look at a stock chart, it's more like this than it is like this, right? If we're talking about something that's growing. So I would say the growth of the vendors is going to follow a path similar to that.
Yeah, it's just going to follow the general hype of the hobby.
Exactly. All right. So that's all the questions that we got from folks this time. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to do probably a Q&A at least every month or so. And other than that, guys, tune in for the drip stream tonight. If you're watching this on Friday, it's going to be tonight. We're giving away tons of mega packs.
3 whole booster boxes. Over 100 packs.
It's over 100 packs, and we got all sorts of other packs that we're going to be ripping with you guys. Just this past Tuesday, we had a stream where we opened up tons of cool collection boxes, some team-up packs, some Unbroken Bonds, some Evolutions.
Pulled an Evolutions Charizard.
So, yeah, we pulled a Mega Charizard from Evolutions. That was crazy. So we're having tons of fun with it. Tune in. Also, we are headed to Card Party, not this weekend, but that first weekend of October. So if you are in the West Coast area, it's going to be in Seattle. We're so excited to see all of our friends there. And that's all I got. Any last words from you?
Keep collecting, and hope to see you all at Card Party.
See you guys. Take it easy.